This is your module 6. In this module, I will give you some highlights on Renaissance and Shakespeare from 1500 to 1650. Early modern English started with Renaissance in Europe. Renaissance means the reawakening of Europe from the darkness of the Middle Ages. After the fall of Constantinople in 1453, Europeans dug out the books of knowledge from the past and studied them. That resulted in a humongous outburst of knowledge in the field of inquiry. Literature, art, philosophy, history, geography, and science and technology, all areas were explored. Scientific inventions changed the world altogether, and so did people's thoughts. It was also the age of geographical exploration that further expanded the horizon of knowledge. The English language went through another big and the most noticeable change during this time, and this is when Middle English developed into the modern English that we speak today. Now, let us look at some of the features of modern English. Words from the Romantic languages. One of the reasons the English language expanded and thrived so much is because of its openness to borrow vocabularies from other languages. During the colonial period, English came into contact with almost all languages around the world. As colonies expanded, so did the language. The first and foremost influences came from the neighboring languages French, Spanish, and Italian. French had colonized Britain since the Norman conquest, so naturally the influence of French language was the most powerful. From the French language, the English language borrowed a huge number of words, some of which are alloy, ambuscade, baluster, bigot, bizarre, bombast, chocolate, comrade, detail, dual, entrance, equip, equipage, essay, explore, genteel, mustache, naturalize, probability, progress, retrenchment, shock, surpass, talisman, ticket, tomato, vogue, volunteer, etc. Similarly, from Spanish also, many words are borrowed into English. Some of the Spanish words into English are such as alligator, anchovy, apricot, armadillo, banana, barricade, basement, bastinado, bilbo, bravado, brocade, cannibal, canoe, cedilla, coral, desperado, embargo, hammock, hurricane, maize, mosquito, peccadillo, potato, renegado, etc. Similarly, Italian borrowings are algebra, argosy, balcony, emio, capriccio, cupola, design, granite, grotto, portico, stanza, stucco, troll, violin, volcano, etc. Now let's talk about the contribution of Sir Thomas More to English. Besides Shakespeare, another writer who introduced a large number of new words into English was Sir Thomas More. Words that came from him are absurdity, acceptance, anticipate, combustible, compatible, comprehensible, contradictory, denunciation, detector, dissipate, endurable, exact, exaggerate, exasperate, explain, extenuate, fact, frivolous, implacable, incorporeal, indifference, insinuate, inveigh, monopoly, necessitate, obstruction, paradox, pretext, etc. Now, the contribution of dictionaries to English does not need much explanation. Dictionaries not only preserve, define, explain, and authenticate vocabularies, but also exemplify how words are used in different contexts. William Caxton, an English merchant, is regarded to be the first person to start a printing press in England in 1476, and to be the first English retailer of printed books. Thus, with the development of printing press, series of dictionaries of the English language came out that defined and authenticated English vocabularies, grammar, syntax, and phonology. The earliest dictionaries were those explaining the words in Latin or some other foreign language, and the earliest English dictionaries were dictionaries of hard words. The first of these was a little book of 120 pages by Robert Cowdray called A Table Alphabetical of Hard Words that came out in 1604. It defined some 3,000 terms. It was followed in 1616 by John Bullockers, English expositor. I'm trying to give a chronology of early dictionaries here. So the one that came after that was the English Dictionary of Henry Cockerham. In 1658, Blount's Glossographia was published. Then Edward Phillips' New World of Words came out in 1658. 63 years after that, Nathaniel Bailey published his Universal Etymological English Dictionary in 1721. Then, 34 years after that, in 1755, the famous dictionary by Dr. Johnson, A Dictionary of the English Language, came out, and that took English language to a new height. The development of dictionaries was a consequence of the extensive additions that had been made to the language. Now, let's talk about the movement led by William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare's contribution to English language and literature is unparalleled and supreme. Often called Shakespearean age, he was an epoch in himself. Born in 1564, his early works were comedies and histories. Later, he wrote profound and most successful psychological thrillers of his time. The writer of 37 dramas, including the four great tragedies Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello, and King Lear. He was the creator of English vocabulary that gave the language artistic beauty, depth of thought, spiritual merit, and philosophical dimensions. He coined words as he needed for his writing, and those words became authentic in the English language. Out of the hundreds of words he invented, here are some: hassle, allurement, antipathy, catastrophe, consonancy, critical, demonstrate, dire, discountenance, emphasis, emulate, expostulation, extract, horrid, impertinency, meditate, modest, pathetical, prodigious, vast, etc. As for the Romance words, ambuscado, armada, barricade, bastinado, cavalier, mutiny, pell-mell, those are all new to English in the latter half of the 16th century. Now, very importantly, let's talk about the great vowel shift. One of the most significant characteristics of early modern English is the great vowel shift. With the diphthongs added to the list of vowels, modern English sounded very different than Middle English. We can see in the list here how diphthongs were created from vowels. Here are the diphthongs in the APA transcriptions. A is in date, bait, trait. Ow is in how, bow, cow. Air is in layer, share, care, bear. I is in buy, try, cry, fry, lie. The diphthong O is in go, show, boat, coat. Ear as in here, beer, deer. Oi is in Troy, boy, noise, voice. Ua as in doer, moor, shore, pure. So these are the diphthongs. Again, please read the materials posted for this week for detailed discussions.